Hello. Oh dear. There we go. Okay. No one is here yet. Cool. Oh my god. I can hear myself talk and until it's
Oh.
hello. Okay. Good stuff. Welcome to the stream. That was a fun start. Let's see. Where's my chat? There. No one's here. Good. Okay. Well, oh look, I'm on YouTube as well. That'll be fun. Maybe I should type some shit in here. So can I just keep trying to give this live streaming stuff a shot? See how I go. And wow, the YouTube thing's so much better. Oh wait, my mouth isn't moving. Uh-oh. Hello? Oh yes it is. Maybe YouTube's just quite far behind. Oh, there we go. It is quite far behind. Okay. Cool. So here I am on my stream with currently no one around or watching, but I am just practicing because that's how you get better. So I'm kind of glad no one's here. But if someone does come, I will be ready. Yes. Customization, what else can I do in here? Yeah, why not? Excellent connection, that's good. Alright, well, I guess I'll just start talking and hopefully... Okay. You can't have both of these up at once. Not really. It's annoying. Just put it there. Okay. These here. Okay, both chats. I don't need to see myself, not really. Cool. Oh, that's just annoying when I want to do this. Alright. Okay. That's streamer Hassan. I don't really want to talk about him because everyone does that. But not in a negative way, of course. Sounds cool. But I just want to address this like whole thing of terrorism. Yet again, I feel like I'm talking about it all the time, but it just seems to be said over and over and over and over again. Basically, it's this idea that, and I will play just a little bit of this actually. This bit. Perfect. So, I don't know who this guy is, but he's like, seems pretty cool, like, I guess, or whatever. I just don't know who he is. But he sort of doesn't know much about anything, clearly. And he's kind of like, he says, oh, well, if you say they're alright, I think they're alright. When talking about Hezbollah. And then, Hassan says this.
They are designated by the American state as a terrorist organization.
I do not like them then.
Yep. And like, I don't want to like I don't even know who he is, so I don't really want to fucking go in too hard on him. But it's just this like immediate reaction of Americans, right, and Westerners in general, of where if someone is a quote unquote terrorist, like they're just bad, and there's no need to think any further about it. There's no need like for further critical analysis whatsoever. It's just, oh, terrorist. Government say terrorist. If government say terrorist, that mean they bad. Booga booga. That's it. All right. That's the extent of it. And so I guess the point that I sort of wanted to, the main point about this, right? That I've never had anyone be able to answer about this whole, it's terrorism thing. Oh my God. Oh, I just clicked the wrong thing. Close tab. Okay. So I have this quote here from someone who is not a terrorist. Well, certainly not a designated terrorist by the United States, because that apparently in these people's minds holds some sort of weight. Do you know what America does? America is a geopolitical entity of terrorism. That's their policy. Their policy is just do terror to get what we want. And it's not like just do it for the sake of it either. Not at all, no. It's do whatever is necessary in the most effective way possible to support our, elite corporate class, our bourgeois class. And usually terror is the most effective way, so that's what they do. If throwing a parade and a party and having jumping castles was the most effective way of achieving their goals geopolitically and financially, then that's what they'd do. So it's not like it's not just pointless terror. It's for a purpose. Not that makes it better, but it's just important to do these sort of material analyses and not start sort of reverse skull measuring, I guess. If anything, it makes it worse, because it's you're quite conscious of what you're doing. But I mean, I guess that's moralism in itself. It just is what it is. It's not good. It is bad. I think it's bad. I have morals, but in geopolitical analysis, nothing should really be good or bad. It is something, and it's a contradiction, and it needs to be solved. That's it. No need to get too emotional when doing these. It's of course going to get emotional about fucking genocide, but when you're trying to, I guess, come to conclusions, it's important to remain materialist, no matter how sort of strongly you feel about this stuff. And you should feel strongly about it. If you don't, you're a psychopath. But I guess if you're a psychopath on the side of the proletariat, whatever, that's cool. You understand what your interests are, and you're a psychopath. You want to help crush the Yankee pig dog swine. I don't care. Come aboard. You're more than welcome. What was I doing? Trying to find a quote. Oh yes, regarding terrorism. That's right. Okay, I just remembered. Oh, yes. Okay. So this is a question that I've put to liberals, in the ultra serious world of Twitter multiple times, and no one's been able to answer it. Right? And it's the very obvious observation, I guess, that the term terrorist isn't something that's used as any sort of a sort of objective identifier. It's just something that's used as a political tool. Sorry, I thought someone was here. And to evidence this, I just always point to the obvious one, which is that that Nelson Mandela, the ANC, were designated as terrorists until 2008 by the US, actually, which is pretty wild. I don't know. I don't know what happened there, why it took them so long, because he actually did, I don't want to overrepresent it, to be honest. because the argument stands on its own. He actually did go to the US like, after the end of apartheid South Africa, and when he was obviously like released from prison, all that. He did go to America, so like the 2008 date is, to be honest, it kind of paints a picture that's a bit worse than it is, and it's like bad enough on its own. But basically, during the height of the apartheid struggle, well, for them it was the apartheid struggle, the anti-apartheid struggle. Nelson Mandela was designated as well, the ANC, and obviously, which includes Nelson Mandela, were designated as terrorists. So I think that's like a very obvious example to point to of the politicized nature of the designation, right? And then I also have the quote that I wanted to look at. So this is from a guy called Charles Lister, who is part of the Middle East Institute's director of extremism and counterterrorism. Now, despite the name, that's not his name, Charles Lister, but despite the name of the organization, it's just like an NGO. It's just an Australian, actually, I believe, NGO that's like very pro-liberal democracy, pro-Western, whatever the fuck values, all that sort of, stupid shit. So it's not like I'm quoting, the Taliban or some shit. But anyway, what he said was defining it. So it's an article from the ABC, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, not whatever the one is in America. Same shit, probably. Well, no, one's corporate, one's government, but it doesn't matter. Defining a group as a terrorist organization is an intrinsically political act. Just what he said, which is quite succinct, and it is true. It's not something that is, it's not something that has any sort of, what I would say, like it has no, sorry, my camera's just messing up a bit. Like it lacks any solid definition. It's not something that's really, it's not like, I don't know, say like genocide, which is very well defined in law. It's just a label that doesn't really mean anything other than you shouldn't like these people because we said so. Sincerely, the State Department, that's really it, right? So I just think it's silly when people just point to that, like, well, like as if that in itself is an argument that someone is been designated as a terrorist by the global terrorist squad. Like, who gives a fuck? I don't care. Fuck them. I designate them as terrorists. So, yeah, it's just America calling people terrorists means nothing, and when people use it by itself as an argument, it's either incredibly dishonest or politically illiterate. That's the end of it. Alrighty. That's all I got to say on that right now. Let me check YouTube. That's really far behind. Or maybe it's just my... Oh, it's just my video was behind. Okay. Silly me. Okay, now I want to talk about something I really I do care about it in this context, but it's the AOC. The AOC and the DSA are two acronyms that I really couldn't give two fucks about. AOC, CIA, IDGAF, However, in the context of this, I do care. Or I'm just slightly annoyed. It's not that important. I'm going to talk about it anyway. Another world is possible. A mass call with AOC and NYC DSA. KKK. Monday, December, who cares? And it's on the internet, apparently. It's cool. God, just the liberals' marketing is so annoying. If I lived in America, I think just on their marketing alone, I would vote for fucking the Republicans. So this is by the Democratic National Socialists of America. Yeah, you heard me. Yeah, I did mean to say it that way. Now the reason, like, I really don't care about the domestic aspect of this. I don't even know what the domestic aspect is. I don't give a fuck. Like, it couldn't mean less to me. But what I'm annoyed about is how another world is possible. A world? Like, how dare you? She's a Democrat. She is, like, okay, she's come out and said it's bad, genocide bad, but ultimately that's rhetoric that is useless when materially she supports the people who are responsible for it, to the extent that you could even say she is somewhat responsible. I just got a notification. Did Governor Tim Walz reply to me? That would be awesome. No, I don't think so. Anyway. Oops, wrong one. I'm very easily distracted, in case you haven't noticed. Yeah, so that just annoyed me. Oh, there's my reply. I didn't mean to show that on stream. Oh well, there it is. Another world is possible. Nuke America now. Yes. That's what I said. That's what I fucking said. Yeah, it just annoys me because... Like, again, these are people who have played an active role in genocide, and I don't really think that this stupid NYC DSA... You know, I don't really appreciate the fact that they market it as a better world, because or another world, not even a better world, just another one. That's kind of funny. It's not going to be a better world. It's going to be another world. It's going to be really shit and full of imperialism and, you know, domestic struggles, but it will be different. She'll be less rude, and we will celebrate Pride Month and stuff. Have parties on the White House lawn, but only if you're rich and white and gay. Or you know, I'm not saying that in a homophobic way at all. I'm just saying that's how they are. It's like they apply this sort of like white supremacy to minority causes and to prop themselves up, to sort of whitewash, pinkwash themselves, is what I meant by that. So yeah, I just don't think that that's really appropriate, considering a genocide's ongoing, and you can say, oh, well, she spoke out against it, but she still said vote for the genocider. She still, again, materially supported it. Like, that's the big, oh gosh, it's really frustrating, because Americans just don't get it, that rhetoric is useless if it's not backed up by material action, you know? Like, I can say, I'm gonna fuck your mother, but if I don't fuck her, it doesn't really matter, right? Exactly. Well said. So yeah, I would think that, you know, if the Democratic National Socialist Alliance, or whatever the fuck of America wants to market themselves and all the completely irrelevant bourgeois politicking that they're doing, go for it. I'm sure all your friends think you're really cool and important, but just don't mention the world, okay? Not while you're bombing it endlessly. Do something about that, and then, you know, maybe we'll see. Yep. Barack Obama is a stupid fucking moron. He's not smart. He's dumb. Like, listen to this. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to put up with it. I'll do my best. Oh yeah, that's good.
I've been spending a lot of time thinking about how
Killing children.
we rebuild a conversation in America in particular, but globally, where folks are able to disagree without hating each other. Pluralism is a fancy word for saying
That means nothing.
you've got a bunch of people who come from different backgrounds and have different political interests.
Just fucking bomb them all.
Build a bunch of different entry points for people to be in conversations with.
For our fucking SEAL 6 team.
You can sort out those differences, find some common ground that leads then to the possibility of common action.
Oh my god. Sorry, I fell asleep. At least it got to the end. So anyway, like the thing is, liberals love this guy, right? They really hold him in a very high regard. Very high regard. And he just says nothing. Like, he really does not say it. He's very confident. He's a great speaker. Like, but being a great speaker should be able to get you a really, like, high up job, I guess, in I don't know, like, selling milkshake machines or fucking whatever, you know, giving, I don't know, like giving talks, like in corporate consultancy about like synergy and pluralism and other meaningless bullshit. It shouldn't be like enough to make you be the president of the United States. Like, there should be some substance behind you. The only substance behind him is cocaine. So yeah. Like, well, I don't want to break down what he said, but he didn't really say anything, right? Like, it was just very vague idealism about starting conversations, okay, with people. And some of the people are in America and some of them are somewhere else. Cool. And we need to work out how they can talk, even if some of the things one of the groups say don't align with the things the other group says. Wow, that is so profound, man. That's just crazy. How did you think of that? Pluralism. Wow. Oh my god. How can I be smart like Barack Obama and do a pluralism? Sorry, I had a big dinner. I gotta go do a pluralism. So I just think it's funny because someone who is like really not, he doesn't like, he's just a Redditor, right? He speaks confidently. He's very smug, but he doesn't really say anything of value or intelligent or really anything that seems to be sort of formed on the basis of critical thought. He just says stuff that sounds good to idiots. So, like, if you're a Barack Obama head, you should find better heroes. Because he's dumb, man. He's really fucking stupid. That's my commentary on Barack Obama. Clean drinking water. If you don't have clean drinking water, you're a subhuman. That is the opinion of some people, not me, of course. So, yeah, there's this terrible maps. I don't know, is it like... sometimes I'm not sure if people are like doing a bit, but usually they're not. They don't realize... They don't realize that they are the thing that they're sort of trying to, I guess, do a satirical commentary on. Like, you are the terrible map here. You think that, I mean, maybe not. Maybe they are. Maybe they're just, I don't know, maybe they're just an AI. Maybe they're apolitical. Anyway, so let me start that again. Unfriendly countries to, oh my god, unfriendly countries according to Russia. And then we see here, have I got the browser up? I do, that's good. And then we see here, it's, you know, the Western world, which is just obviously the US and its vassal states. It's just, and then, what's that, like fucking... God, I'm having an American moment. It's just above Brazil. I think I know what it is. It's like that little fucking French country, right? I want to know now. Whoops, not booking.com. No, I don't want to go anywhere. World map. Oh, maybe I can book a flight to North Korea. Sorry, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. That's what I meant to say. I'm just trying to figure out what that tiny little country is. Yeah, that's right. French Guiana. I was right. Okay. So the, which is, yeah, well, that is part of the West, I guess. I don't know much about that country. I shouldn't really talk on it, but obviously it's occupied colonially. Colonially, that's a fun word to say. Come on, chat. I'm on fire today as well. It's a shame no one's here. Maybe I can upload the VOD. Upload the VOD. Why does my YouTube keep, like, my YouTube is, which is on me, keeps dropping behind. Oh god, that must be like a fucking YouTubeception thing. But like it's some, for some reason every time I go and check it to check on the chat, it's like behind. It's fucking annoying. This guy's annoying. But that's not what I was talking about. What was I talking about? Gosh, I got a little distracted there. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's like obviously just the Western world, and then it's like the comparison here to basically, I guess, insinuate that, I guess, like, it's obviously it's against Russia, but it's kind of, I guess, insinuates that these are the fucking barbaric, undeveloped motherfuckers in, like, so who cares? You know, like, who cares? Because they're, like, obviously we're right. Us in the red with our fucking tap water, drinkable tap water, superior to the other beings on the basis of the size of our Yakubian skulls. That's why. It's nothing to do with anything else. So those countries who don't have any clean tap water, because their skulls are not shaped in the right way, and they're not Yakubian, that's why they don't have drinking water. They're inferior to us. So who gives a fuck what Russia says about them? We're obviously a superior being. We're morally superior, we're intellectually superior, and it's just because we were born that way. Because, again, of the size of our Yakubian skulls. Now, that's their argument. I disagree. I disagree. Why? The skull measuring is not real. Now, to be honest, those aren't the words they use, but that is essentially what they're saying. The reason is, of course, because of imperialism. Like every person, every human being is, obviously there's like some like genetic variations from person to person or whatever, but for the most part, a person who is born, who is, and I'm not being like ableist or whatever, but it's just material reality, is born and is, you know, healthy, physically, mentally, that sort of thing, a healthy baby. Like, they're a blank slate for the most part. There are, again, like, there's genetic predispositions, but they're minor. Well, maybe not they're minor, but they're not. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that if you're born in fucking, I don't know, the Amazon there somewhere, compared to if you're born, I think that's where LA is. Difference in the person who you become has nothing to do with the person you are at birth. It has to do with where you are born and the material conditions that you're born into. I'm not saying one is better than the other, by the way. I'm just making an example. So when you say that these countries are like inherently inferior because they don't have clean tap water, that's very ooga booga brains, just silly thinking. Like if anything, like if I did believe in like skull measuring and eugenics, then you would be the dumb one in this case. Like you would be the one with the misshaped skull. Because I don't think it's about size particularly. It's like I've never looked into it, but I think it's not like bigger is better. It's about where it's bigger. I don't know. I'm not an expert on skull measuring. Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't speak on subjects I'm not familiar with, especially super serious ones like measuring skulls. So what a normal person does, or a person with a functioning brain, or a person who's born into the material conditions that give them a functioning brain, because, you know, I guess I should be consistent. Although I will say, actually, one quick side, I do think that people who are, like, I guess what we'd call neurodivergent, like we say autism or ADHD or both, are more prone to curiosity, which makes them perhaps more likely to break out of the mold of cultural hegemony. Small side note, but yes, relevant nonetheless. But for people who have intellectual curiosity, they will go, well, why, that's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, why do these countries not have clean tap water? Like, how did that happen? And so then obviously you will, I mean, I'm not going to go through the whole history of imperialism, but essentially the long and short of it is that the imperialist or imperial core states have subjugated the countries who aren't in blue or red, and engage in unequal exchange, like imperialism. But yeah, the reason I use unequal exchange is because it's such a easy way to demonstrate it. So just let me find that. So, but basically, yeah, they've like oppressed them and taken all their shit and their labor and just like they've pilfered these countries using violence is the long and short of it. Actually, I don't really need to just explain unequal exchange, but it's good because you can actually no, I will, because it is kind of relevant. Bear with me. So unequal exchange is the it's basically, it refers to like the amount of wealth or capital that is extracted from the imperial periphery to the core versus the other way. Right, so you'd think like you'd think it should be about even as far as like imports, exports, all that sort of stuff. Like that would be the goal of like an ideal society where money is essentially a it's like just an exchange token. There's a term for it. It's in fucking capital. Oh god, I'm having a mental blank. A universal equivalent. There we go. So, you know, yeah, money is just a universal equivalent, and It's essentially like just, it's trade, and it's trade in the literal sense, in that if one country has more, cotton, I guess. It's just got some connotations, that particular plant. And the other has more, I don't know, coal. That they trade them because each other country needs the other, right? And they trade it in a manner that's relatively even. Yeah, which it does go back into like the Marxist theory of the universal equivalence. So that would be the ideal way. That's how one would think that when we talk about trade that it should occur. But it doesn't, right? It doesn't for a number of reasons. One of the biggest is because the US dollar is the global reserve currency, which means like it can print it and just buy whatever the fuck it wants. That's a very simplified way of saying it, but it kind of makes sense. But yeah, that's fair. Whereas if you're in a country that doesn't have the US dollar as its national currency, you can't print US dollars, and so you have to sell stuff to get the US dollars, while the Western countries can just print them. So maybe that was a pretty bad explanation, to be honest. But I didn't think I was going to go into this. It was alright. I mean, I'm with it. I'm kind of happy with it. I know what I was trying to say. I'm just not sure if I said it exactly how I wanted to. Oh, no, these ones are all super complicated. You should. So there's a guy called Jason, and not Jackson Hinkle. Not Jackson Hinkle. There's a guy called Jason Hickel, who's done some really good academic papers on it. You should read him. He's better at it than me. He's better at unequal exchange than me. Better at explaining it. But no, he's done like he's kind of seems like he's dedicated much of his career to it. Nice of him. He seems like a good guy. I like him. Oh my god, I don't have time to go through your whole paper right now, that's all. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted. Browser, cool. Now, so this is, it doesn't really, like, so this is from Jason Hickel, this picture here. I don't know, it's on Junta Weekly, which is some, like, I don't know, some fucking Indian website. Like, not like in a bad way. Sometimes I just say the word fucking when I can't think of a word. I love Indians. I love India. I'm a big fan. Don't like Modi much. Don't like Hindu nationalism. But Indians are great. Yeah. I don't like that there's lots of racism against them. Because I think, like, while some of them have bad views, like, let's talk about Americans and having bad views. Anyway, this is the thing that I wanted to show you. Can I just, like, make it bigger? No. Okay, fine. So this shows the reason I wanted to find it on Hickel's page is because there's a little fucking thing underneath it that explains it perfectly. And it's just short, and it just says like, no, this unequal exchange is blah blah blah, and it's like perfect. Maybe it's this one. Yes. Oh my god, yes, I am a human, thank you. Oh, this one doesn't have the, I don't know. Hang on. Streaming's hard, man, but I guess it's kind of like, people expect you not to have stuff ready straight away. Oh. Boom. Okay, I found it. Gaming. Oh, okay. What's that much for an exchange? It's not. It's not an explanation like I thought it was. It just says drain from the global south, constant $2001. So it was in like 2011. Sorry, what did I say? 2001. $2011. So that's the time period that it was transferred to USD. So basically, you can see here like 18 trillion from China. 11 from Southeast Asia and the Pacific. So China obviously is given its own category because it's very big. North Africa, Middle East, Central Asia, it's 10 trillion. Peripheral Europe. So I guess that's like the Balkans, but yeah. Maybe it's just like, well, maybe it's Russia, because I'd say like the Balkans would be, and Turkey and stuff. But yeah, I'm not sure what the qualifier is. I'll have to clarify that. It's just like one small point though. It's not that important. Then Latin America and the Caribbean, 6.457, then South Asia, 4.6 trillion, and Sub-Saharan Africa, 2.64 trillion. That's from 1960 to, I guess, 2011, or just, well, probably just before that. Oh, sorry, there it is, 2017. So that's a lot, right? So the point that I was getting to is, hello? What's this red dot mean? Oh, maybe that just means it's streaming? Yeah, okay. Oh, I thought I had a chat. But I did not. Sad times. Yep. So, I probably shouldn't show that. It's probably got like heaps. Where was I? Yeah, so when people say that, when they make jokes about like clean drinking water, when people make jokes like that, or insinuations as it relates to things like clean drinking water is something that requires infrastructure, building, maintenance, staff. I'm not an expert on drinking water, but you get the idea. That sort of thing needs capital under capitalism, which is what we live under. Now, if you're in the global north, you have all this money coming in, like excess money, that gives you huge amounts of capital to build infrastructure and make your society better. If you're in the global south and all this money is being drained, or capital, well, capital, yeah, but money doesn't. If you're in the global south and all this money is being drained, if you're in the global south and all this capital is being drained, you have nothing left to build the infrastructure. You can barely have basic services. The stuff that's just like absolutely necessary to keep a society functioning. That's like what you got to do first, right? So when you want to say dumb stuff about like, those barbarians in the global south, they don't have clean drinking water, like this fucking numbskull. Maybe they weren't saying that, I don't know. Anyway, some people are. It's a very dumb thing to say, and it means that you haven't really critically thought about it, because the only reason that is the case is because these Western countries have pilfered from the imperial periphery, which means they haven't been able to build the infrastructure. It's not like you guys have magic brains that just figure all this stuff out. No, you just steal stuff. You are thieves. You take stuff that isn't yours, and you don't return it. You don't return it you don't return the favor. You take stuff that isn't yours. without returning something of the equivalent value, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So you just take stuff that isn't yours and then build your society with it, and then have the gall to like look down your nose and point at others and say, oh, look, you fucking barbarians, you don't even have clean drinking water. Like, well, you stole the ability, you stole the means of us having clean drinking water. Now you're flexing about it. And I mean, the funny thing is obviously it's not very funny overall, but you know, you can't keep doing this forever, right? Especially when you're a very, very small minority, 15% of the world versus 85%. Eventually people are going to be like, you know what, fuck you. We're going to take our stuff back. We're going to take our countries back. We're going to build our societies. And then maybe we'll come and take some of your shit. Maybe not. But certainly, if you keep trying to take our shit, we will stop you from taking it. Is probably a better thing to say. Probably a more reasonable. Because, you know, you kind of came in very well-prepared thieves, and we didn't realize this was going to happen because we're not fucking barbarians who go around the world taking people's shit. So, we weren't prepared. Okay. How bad, I guess. And so you came in and just started, like, taking shit. Tried to be nice. Like, for one, don't really have the means to, like, defend against it, but let's just try and make it work. And then you just kept taking the piss. And then your people became somewhat aware of it. And they didn't like it. So you sort of started doing it more sneakily. And you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Like, eventually, people are going to be like, fuck you. We're going to stop you from stealing our stuff. And I mean, to be fair, like, to be honest, that is already the case. Like, people defend against this stuff, right? Like, honorably and bravely, and I shouldn't sort of downplay that. But eventually it will get to a stage where it is, like, more organized and unified. And I guess, like, I wouldn't say counteroffensive, but just basically where it's like a global pushback of imperialism, you know, like, of all the imperial periphery states. And it is already happening to some extent. So, like, I don't know, when you're posting dumb shit online about, like, how people who you've fucking oppressed don't have clean drinking water. Just, like, remember, like, when you're locked up in a gulag and being used for biofuel, this is why. And on that note, I want to say to everyone to all the millions and millions of chatters who obviously are just very quiet because I'm so full of eloquence and articulateness, isn't a word, but hey, that they haven't had anything to say. No, but that'll be it for today. Okay.